That is not what I wanted. Hello? Are we live? Are we here? I have absolutely no idea. I should probably check. Apologies if you can hear any noises from outside. People are driving their cars. I can't be beholden to the people who are driving their cars. Let's check on another link. Hi, Marlene. By the way, my camera is on my other laptop stand and my laptop is here, which is why I'm not looking at you. I'm terribly sorry. I will try and be better. We are live. It's all good. It's all good. Hello. Happy July. Welcome to our brand new month. Rude car people. Yeah, I know. How dare they? How dare they leave their homes? I have my book upstairs, so I'll be studying instead. That sounds very worthy, though. What are you studying? Are you studying anything interesting, exciting? It has been a very long time since I've had to do any. And I have to say, I sometimes miss it. Having that structure, building a revision plan. Oh, the dream. The dream. How is it July already? I know. June absolutely didn't exist this year. I don't quite know what happened, but there was no June. Where? I was writing my my June wrap up for Patreon, and I was just like, I don't remember reading these books this month. When did this happen? I don't know. Hello, we are blessed with the presence of Angela. I just need to edit a video first, then I can read. That is a mood. I only don't have an editing backlog because I have a filming backlog that I need. I've got like, I don't actually know, maybe 8 videos to film next week while I'm off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, in fact, and 3 of them are Animorphs videos, which may have been an error on my part. Practicing some choir music once I'm done, I might read. Ooh, nice. I haven't sung in a choir in a very long time either, but that was one of my many after-school curricular activities back in the day. Yes, I'm trying to learn languages proficiently as I can. Oh, yeah. I feel like getting to reading in anything is a little bit nightmarish, but I feel like it's also the skill in any language that you have the most time to sort, because if you're, I mean, maybe not with like road signs and things, but if you need to physically read something, you can do a little bit of translation, whereas if you're in a conversation with someone, it's harder to be like, let me just look up the right conjunction on my phone, and that makes life easier. I'm reading The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. No one tell Angela. No one tell. What am I reading? I will not ignore your typo. I will expose it on the internet. I have 3 things I'm getting on with, and my plan is to switch every 100 pages or 10% because my brain needs that level of changing up at the moment. So I have my Kindle, which I have the first binding, which I was reading when we did sprints last week, and I haven't read any more of it since. Oops. I have The Future of Another Timeline by Annalee Newitz, which is sort of quite dark, difficult feminist sci-fi, and then I have Circe, because why not have multiple books where women are treated terribly. So yeah, I think I'm going to start with the first binding and get 100 pages of that or 10% of that out of the way, and then I'll keep going. Since leaving 8 years ago as a teacher, it's weird going back to being a student, I bet, but you must have like so many skills, and you can think to yourself like, what would I be telling my students to do, which is nice. Robin Reeds is reading Thunderhead. Oh, that's a very good book. I'm trying to remember. Thunderhead is the second one, because the third one's The Toll. And isn't there a 4th coming out somewhere? I've seen a cover for it. I'm not sure. I thought you were super excited to find out what Judith is reading. I mean, she was. Multiple books to get through. Started quite a few. Going to read Electra by Jennifer Saint now. Ooh, nice. I like that one. Yeah. I should really refresh myself on Circe. This is the thing. I've read it before, and I'm rereading it for Overbooked, and I didn't need to with Song of Achilles because I know that one fairly well, and it doesn't differ too much from the original story. But this, I really need a refresher, or I'm not going to be able to review it very well. Love Book 1, already, like I said, fun, nice. But to finally join one of your sprints, yes. To be fair, I've done very, very few actual lives for sprints, so you're only 1 for 2, which is pretty good going. Yes, I think so. It looked very pretty, but I really don't like the romance in this Arc of a Scythe series because I'm a bitter old lady who didn't want it to happen. So we'll see. Have you read Animorphs yet? Yes, I actually have. That was my before I do sprints, I will do this because I type up Animorphs while I'm reading it, and my desk is still very wobbly. I didn't want you all to have to endure it looking like I'm constantly in some sort of seismic event. So I have already read Animorphs, which is. It was an interesting one. The front cover had bees on it, and the ones where they turn into insects are like second only to the ones where they go underwater. The underwater ones are the weirdest ones, but after that it's insects. When they turn into like big animals, you're just like, oh, they're gonna hit people. But insects, there's always some interesting stuff going on. I will say now I have what, 16 left, I think. I'm starting to feel really like they need to pull into the end game, and they just keep introducing new elements. And I'm like, are these going to be the army that you pull together at the end to finally defeat the big bad? I don't know. I don't know. What do we decide next week before Yalk? Oh, I'm trying not to be too FOMO about Yalk this year, because I made a decision I wasn't going to go for multiple reasons. Partly because I didn't want to travel. Partly because we've only just had the big C in our household, meaning the disease, not, I don't know how to describe that any other way. And I didn't want to like even bear the slightest chance of bringing it to London. I feel like that would be daft. And also I've bad talked so much YA this year. I would just be there like, oh no, oh no. But I'm hoping that people who go have a lovely time. If you run into Justine, you should say hi. Awesome. Romance Inside series is blurb. Everything else is awesome. Yes, it's some really stellar world building, and I think that's why it bummed me out that it lent so hard into the romance, particularly in book one, because I was just like, just tell me more about how this world works. I am interested. And a disagreement. I think the romance is okay for the story, even though I don't like romance most of the time. I understand why the author made that choice. I mean, it's fair enough. Like, it was a choice to include it, obviously. For me personally, I was like, I would have gone a different way with it. Please just tell me more about all of the different ways this AI-driven world is being run. It is what it is. But yes, who are you excited about seeing at Yelp if you're going? Because I'm a nosy person, and I would like to know. Boop-a-doop. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to read today. I'm not actually going to try and finish all 3 of these books today, mostly because first binding is 800 pages, and I think that would be a mistake. But I feel like I could make a start on some of the stuff for next week as well, because I have 2 novellas in next week, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. But yeah, I thought we would do, for the sake of it being Sunday and my brain being a bit tired, I thought we would do 30-minute sprints and then maybe do 10-15 minutes off. And then I'm probably going to finish around about 5 or 5:30, depending on where the timing shakes out, mostly because I have to take the dog out, and that'll be very nice. Oh, some more things. Interpersonal relationships lacking all over the place. Exhausted. We kept meeting new characters. Just tell, not show me everyone's relationship. Fair enough. My first time going super excited about Sarah Jones debuting. That's so nice. Oh my goodness, that's very cool. Have a lovely time. Wear sensible shoes, and if it gets too hot or too overwhelming, leave, because nobody told me I should do that in my first time going to Yelk, and I really should have just gone and had like a coffee in a nice cafe somewhere halfway through. I would have got much less tired. This is my month of novellas. How exciting. Did you mention, Angela and I talk all the time, did you mention you're reading Sample the Wild Bill? And I can't remember, have you read it before? Because I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. Yes. Although I do not dread. No, I am glad that I do not have to do the queue for Alice Oseman. I remember the last time I went was 2019, and Becky Chambers was there. Because she was on a UK tour, we went to see her in Oxford like the week before, and so we were like, we do not need to queue for Becky Chambers at Yelk. It's going to be okay. And we were just walking past the queue like, we have succeeded and hacked the system. Not read it before. Oh, well, I'll be interested to know what you think, because I feel like you'll have interesting thoughts on it. I really loved it. I can't remember who it was who wasn't so sold, but I'm interested. Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I feel like LFCC is also quite good for how you get out. It's not like my brain can only think of IKEA as like an analogy of trying to trap you in a labyrinth, so you buy something. It's got some good exits. But yes, I do. It's the thing of I'd like to go to see the people I know who are going. I'm not too fussed about the authors or actually the books, which seems terrible. So I did debate going into London and just like booking a hotel or something and having a night in London, which would be very lovely. But again, I can't face the travel. I can't do it. Right, what am I going to start with? I think I'm going to start with Circe, because I can I can definitely smash 100 pages of this in half an hour. I think it's going to be doable. I have made myself a bookmark or two by tearing up an old birthday card, because I have so many bookmarks, but they are all downstairs. To copy my printed novella on Tuesday. It was so easy, but I had to see my work on paper. Nice, nice. I feel like that's always an exciting moment, especially I feel especially the kind of print on demand novellas are always a fun time because they feel really nice in the hand. Meet people from BookTube, also the panels that focus on the writing publishing processes. I want to move into publishing. Ooh, exciting. Do you know which area of publishing you'd like to move into? We are going to do sprints in 5 minutes. I'm just enjoying having a chat. Because that's an interesting question to ask. And obviously makes a difference. I'm just going to shut this. Makes a difference into what kind of panels you go to. I'd be very interested to know. Give me a play-by-play of Circe and Boxer as my recap. I can do that for you if you would like, but I will do it in classic Judith fashion. I'll just be like, this has happened, and it will make no sense without the context of what's going on. Or I'll only pay attention to a very, very minor B plot, and you'll be very confused. You're welcome. You're welcome. As we know from watching my videos, I'm not the best at recapping books, unless I sit and type out everything that happens like I do for Animorphs, and even then. I see your marketing PR. Would love to organize book tours, blog tours, author events, and do the social media managing. Lovely. Oh, you should try and have a chat with, I don't know if she'll be there, but Jamie from Black Crow has been there a couple of times for Quirk PR, I think, and is very lovely and would have a lot of wisdom, I'm sure. I actually did used to work in book marketing, but for a very, very small, very, very niche publisher. And I didn't have the best time, and I did then leave. But I think that had more to do with the place rather than the actual books. I feel like if you were marketing books you were really interested in, that might make a big difference. Basically do what I do with YouTube and my business already. Yeah. No, that sounds like fabulousness. Joy recaps that focus strictly on B-plots. Only telling people what happens to the side characters. Yes, she should be there. You read very fast, so understandably you don't remember everything. Probably already 3 books ahead at that point. That is the tricky thing. That's why I started doing like notes for Overbooked, because it was much easier to hang on to what happened. Yeah, but also there's a certain amount of me that's like, if you're reading or watching a review for a book rather than specifically looking out for a recap on like recaptions or something, you don't need to, like, why would I tell you the whole plot? Why would you need to know that? You can just know the gist. And also you have as much access to the blurb as I do. I'm not doing all of your work for you. With Marlene. All right, I'll send you very out of context quotes from Circe, and we'll see how we go. You'll see if you need to read it again after that. Just send you like, and then she cried. That's it. That's all the information you're getting. Alrighty. Well, let's do about half an hour. Let's go until the I'm going to go until 2:45 here in the UK. So go to the 45 of the hour wherever you are is what we're going to do. Let me just do a. Oh, I see. I already have the banner set up from last time. This is very, very satisfying. And yeah, if you are reading, have a lovely time reading. If you are studying, have a lovely time studying. If you are studying choir music, have a lovely time studying choir music. That's fabulous. People can just look it up. Yeah, and I think book recapping is a very specific skill that I personally do not have. Angela's really, really good at summarizing book plots. Justine is fantastic at it. And obviously Amber does it through recaptions and so such. I do not personally have that skill because I tend to get very interested in a specific niche part of the book, and then all I can talk about is that, and I can't tell you the plot. I just can't do it. Happy reading or otherwise. Oh, hi, Asha. Yay. Oh, yay. You have to send me updates on the writing as well. I was actually trying to click on happy reading or otherwise, so we can say happy reading or otherwise to everyone. I hope that it goes very well, and I shall see you in half an hour, and I will whisper at the camera and all that stuff. Wish me luck. I'm going to try and get to 100 pages in. Let's do the thing. Okay. I'm muting my microphone, and we're going to go. We're back. Awkward coming back, slightly making my voice louder time. Hello, how did that go for everyone? I'm just gonna check. Welcome. I hope that the reading went well. Asha mistook us for Google, but I have no problem with writing a whole bunch of academies because, frankly, we all want magic school replacements, and I want Asha to write them for me. Edited the video, so next sprint I can actually read. Yeah, woo. I'm sorry that your brain is hurting, but yes, good. This reading / productivity sprints. We're doing everything that we can. Watching Stranger Things finale. I have watched it, but mainly just because Katie has watched it, and I needed to be able to understand what she was talking about. But Stranger Things is too spooky for me, so I just watched sections of it because I really like the characters, but I can't. It's too spooky for me. I agree. Read one chapter, yay! Let me tell you what I've managed. I got to my 100 pages of Circe, so I am at the very start of chapter 10, and I'm liking it more than I thought I was going to because I remembered it being a little bit which in some ways I think Madeline Miller just writes in a very specific way that isn't always what I want, and I think that the reason I haven't picked this up since I read it the first time is because I couldn't actually remember what happened. Like, I know Circe as a character, but I was like, I can't quite remember how she fits in like a beginning, middle, end of a story. And it turns out that I now remember, because I am reading it, that it's a lot of different myths all connected up. But yes, I'm enjoying it well enough. I've got another like 300 pages or so to go with that one. And because I hit 100 pages, I switched book because that is how it's working. And I read like 3% of the first binding, which is still like 20 or so pages, which is pretty good going. I'm liking that more as it grows on me, but it is saying that it's going to take me another 11 hours. So I don't think we're finishing that one today. Read one chapter, we did that one. I need the practice for now. Time to read the Lyra of Red Valley arc. Third in so far, I'm liking it. I've not heard of that one. Interesting. But when to get coffee also. Coffee's always needed. Emerging an awkward conversation that got to the crux of it, so that's good. Oh, excellent. Is it flirty banter though? Because it should be. I should have thought this was Google. Just, yeah, it happens. There are worse places to accidentally search things. Yeah. I feel like when it's that barometric change, I have very prone to headaches, so I hope they feel better soon. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Because I really want to like the first binding, and I am liking it, but I think I said this last time. It's so long, and I don't want to be rude because I'm aware that it is intentionally long and that the storytelling style is incredibly deliberate. But I can't sit here for 20 minutes and read 3% of a book. It drives me crazy. I read feels like an urban fantasy gothic horror blend so far, and somehow it works. That is a good blend of things. And Asha is indeed writing banter, yes. See, if you're not already following Asha on Twitter, you should be, because you should hear about these books and stories as soon as they're out. So an offer she can't refuse. That is what I actually want to be reading right now, is Cozy Things, but I'm getting it. I was very strongly decided not to request the first binding because it sounded long. It is. But good. I think once it's going to be one of those ones where once I've read it, I'll feel better about it because you'll know where it's going. But I feel like with long books, because everything is stretched out, the setup is stretched out, the middle section is stretched out, and the ending, it can take a while to be like, okay, where are we actually going with this though? What is the plot? Because I'm not actually sure. And I think that a lot of the blurb was just sort of like, I killed God and that's where we're going. And that hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. Firm agree. Sassy banter is the ultimate banter. I should turn off the sprinting banner actually. Whoop, because that's not what we're doing. We will go to the next 30 there. Is there such a thing as unsassy banter? For me, it is when the author is desperately trying to push two characters together who really just actually hate each other. Like, it's not enemies to lovers, it's just, you hate each other, please don't. just no. The dog is screaming downstairs. I apologize. You know, I can't think of a specific example, but there are indeed some that just don't work. And then it gets to the end, I'm like, I don't think you should have dated that man. He wasn't just, you know, a bit of an enemy. He was just mean. Name no names. Name and no names. My current Google search is the word scalarium because I wanted to check that I had indeed not made it up. I also feel like this could be any of Ash's books. Just like swapping out the word wizard and thief for insert other things there. It's my 2 cents. That's why I like annoyance is still, yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, it should be an irritation, not you killed my entire family. I've been reading a lot of YA lately that has been she is the daughter of the revolution parents or whatever, the parents who were involved in the revolution, and he is the prince that they were trying to do a revolution to. And I'll just move this so you can see my hand wafting. And every single time it gets to a certain point where they'll be like, but he is really hot though. And I'm like, no, he's oppressing, like he's part of this system of oppression. And no matter how many mummy or daddy issues he has, maybe don't date him. Unless he says, hello, I'm here to abdicate, it's time to leave. Maybe don't date him. No. It did go well, thank you. It did. I read 100 pages or so. It's very nice. If you did make it up, it's in there now. So my books, you literally murder my, yes. Literally every time it happens, I'm like, oh no. I really felt the ending was worth talking through so far. Is that the oh, are we talking about the first binding, which is what I'm reading, or are we talking about the, who's it by? Bridget Collins, because that also was not a book for me. I felt like that book was so non-anything, and sort of encompassed a whole bunch of stuff I really didn't like. Whereas the first binding I am enjoying, it's just very long. But people are making book titles all very similar, so it's hard to know which ones we're talking about. See, I really wanted to like it. I think I just got really stuck on the treatment of female characters, bizarrely. I just found like everyone just ended up sad and yeah. Totally valid to have liked it, and I know a lot of people did, but for me it was one of those, once I noticed something, it wouldn't leave me alone. It just kept on creeping, and I couldn't put it away. And it made me not want to read anything else by Bridget Collins, even though I've also heard nice things. And I think it's me being a bitter Betty that there were so many like beautiful photos of it. People like, this book is absolutely stunning, and look at the inside cover, and we're going to sell thousands of special editions. And I was like, why? I've read it. It was fine. It's just because it's a book about books, and a book about books with foil on it, people just go mad. They do. Jack for Stocks is rather than actual plot, and the romance was the most disappointing thing. Valid. But yeah, I think I read an early review copy of that over Christmas, and it wasn't the most Christmassy read either, if I'm remembering correctly. Foil. Yeah, see, it's a problem. But I have realized I'm at a point where I don't typically buy hardbacks. It's just, I say that with like 3 hardbacks sat near me, but I'm not overly fussed about having them. But I have started, if I find a hardback for a book on a shelf and I open it up and there's foil on it, I'll probably buy it. I probably will. I'd love things with designs on the inside. My favorite is still the inside Spot UV design on the Skinful of Shadows book, which I would go grab, but it's right at the bottom of a pile of books, and that would just be embarrassing to show you. But it is stunning. But I really do feel like a lot of books get special edition foiliness that aren't very good books. And it's not a rule, but it does happen quite often, especially with YA, where I'm like, this book is beautiful, but I know I'm not going to like it because it will feature, he murdered my family, but goodness me, he's dreamy. I thought this said failed, though, and we were just still on. Just my only pretty books, but I do have to own one pretty edged book once. Yeah, I mean, I own several of them. I think for me, it's more, if I've already read it, if I've had like a digital copy or something, if I've already read it and I know it was fine, I'm not going to buy it just because it has nice edges. But maybe that's just me. There have been some stunning editions recently, though. I feel like everyone's really stepped up the game, and it feels like at this point, I remember people used to just be excited about sprayed edges, and now it's like, sprayed edges, that's just the basic version. But I remember when sprayed edges was an excitement. The first time I encountered them was when I did the Hampshire Book Award when I was like 12, and one of the books we had to read was Skullduggery Pleasant, the first one. I'm dating myself somewhat, but it had orange sprayed edges, but they hadn't quite figured out sprayed edges at that point, I think, because what I remember is all of us being handed these copies of the book and every single person going, wow, sprayed edges. I should do, wow, sprayed edges, going like this and having highlighter orange fingertips because they hadn't coated it or something. I've not encountered that on anything else. As long as we're not saying spreages. Oh no, are people saying spreages? That's terrible. Or stedges if you've got stenciled edges. I'm really sorry if you can hear the dog. She's having a moment. Because it's not all about her. But I think it was certainly pretty though. I bought it full price and definitely should have waited to get a library copy. It is tricky to know, isn't it? Because also, if it was amazing and you did love it, and then there were no more nice hardback editions and you really wanted a hardback edition, that would be sad. For example, I thought, I'm not going to buy a copy of A Little Hatred in hardback because I'm not fussed. It's fine. I read it. It was a good time. It's fine. And then I got really into the series, book 2 and 3, and then had to spend quite a bit more than the RRP on a hardback edition. But I have no regrets, she says, slightly having regrets. All the publishing focusing. I hate it. Sounds rude. Spreages. I think it sounds like a micro trend for shoes. Like some sort of wedge heel. Spreages on TikTok. That's why it has that TikTok connection for me. Like micro trends, weird ways of saying things. Spreages. we all agree saying spreages is terrible. Maybe we have to do like Hermes and say like sprege or something, just to add to it. They should stop trying to make that happen. I agree. No more spreages. We decree it here. No, enough. This is the end of this. I'm trying to think what do we think the next innovation of book, because if we're at a point where everything is sprayed, stenciled, special foil, signed, what's like going to be the next one? Exclusive dust jackets, I think, is a big one. More foil, just more foil intensely, or are we going to see a trend away from that now because everything is foiled to something? Remember when they tried deckled edges? Yes, I own fair few from, would have been 2017. I had a bunch of deckled edges. Let's not bring that back. I didn't mind them, but it was just very unnecessary. Pretty chapter starts. Ooh, yes, that would be a good one. Always trying to make VR covers happen, which I don't really get. I will say they are very cool, and I think possibly because I have a Google phone, it's like set up to do them. I'm a big fan, but I don't think it adds. It's not going to make me buy a book other than another book, you know. I think it's just for people who have exciting phones. Instead of a simple hardbacks of Jemison's backlist. Thank you, Angela. Say it louder for the people at the back. I want them. Hated them. I assume this is deckled edges. Very valid. Maybe this series of mismatched covers. Some people buy hardback, different print runs. My bookshelf is ugly. No, they're still beautiful. Cloth-bound hardbacks. Ooh, yes, that does. I know. Is it Illumicrate have just done the Bridgerton series as cloth-bound hardbacks? I think. Luna, come here. No, just crying. That's all she's doing. Were the Bridgerton ones that? Because they were very pretty. But maybe a cloth bound and foil. Let's bring it all in. Bring it all in. I will say I have a lot of mismatched series, just throwing that out there. And I don't mind them, but I think it depends how you like your bookshelves to look. The pretty things with naked hardbacks, so your books are pretty with or without the covers. True, but then if you want to display that, do you have to have like a folder with all of your dust jackets in? Because I've often thought about this because I really like coloured. Just the colour of naked hardbacks I think are really cool. Like the Final Strife one is white, and I think that's very cool. But if you wanted to display it that way, you'd have to keep the dust jacket somewhere where it's not going to get all mashed up. Don't even those Bridgerton books I die. Yeah. New Ribbon bookmark. Ooh, see, that's all the things we could add in. Which I had unlimited money, I would have bought them. Yeah, I mean, I think that with a lot of Luma Great things. The Jade City set I really wanted. Beautiful, which hardback now adult SF missing quality art hardback covers again. Yes, let's get back to arty things. These are my dust jackets for books where I just want to make it. This is the thing. I think you'd have to have a storage system for your dust jackets, or decide you don't care about them, which I feel like would maybe be not positive in the bookish world. But we should do some more sprinting because it has been 15 minutes. So while we're sprinting, you can ponder more unnecessary additions to books that would still make you buy them. I think there is something to be said for more unnecessary tech additions to books. I am going to turn my light off because it is flickering. But yeah, let's go. We're going to sprint until the half past. Let's do it. Can we do another 100 pages? Let's go. Hello, we're back again. Is this getting any less creepy? Probably not. Hi, hello. It's just started raining here, so I'm very glad that I brought the laundry in earlier because I'm a domestic goddess. A domestic deity, which sounds much nicer. I missed this right at the end of last one. Buying pretty editions of books I know full well I won't read, but pretty shiny books. I actually think for me it's buying pretty editions of books I won't reread. It's not good. Hello, 45 pages in. Fantastic. How's the writing going, Asher? To give you my update, I hit another 10% of this, so it's about 80 pages, 86 pages or so. And I'm still enjoying it. We are in the character learns how to use magic phase of the story, which is always a favorite phase. I'm still not entirely sure I completely understand the magic system, but it's by the by. We've got 80% of a book left, and then I am 45 pages through The Future of Another Timeline, which is heavy going and possibly it's either just the wrong time to be reading a book about trying to fix the rights of women and such in history through time travel, or it's either just the right time or just the wrong time. I got lost in that train of thought halfway through. But it's a good book. It's just going to be probably a little bit on the nose. When did this come out? 2018? 2019? Possibly 2020? One of those years? 2019. So 3 years ago. But definitely some things where I'm like, oh no, that's too real. It's too real. How are we doing? Domestic deity. Thank you, Angela. 6% of the Live Red Valley. It's still really good. Fantastic. Great phase of any fantasy story. The magic learning system. Learning the magic system is always a good time. Even if it's vaguely just telling you it in an info dump. I'm still here for it. Give a few more words. Almost done with the scene, which is a pain because endings are hard. So true. I say like I've written anything in the last 3 years. I have not, but you have sunshine right now. I imagine when last I'm heading off now as a niece babysitting duty this afternoon. So have a lovely redo. Have a lovely afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you. And I hope that the niece babysitting duty goes well. Started Nettle and Bone. How exciting! Are you enjoying it? It is probably my favorite book of the year so far. I think. I need to go back through the list because some things I read in January that I just don't remember. Excuse me one moment while I clean my glasses because they are giving me a headache. Reggie Children's still really enjoying it. The added perspectives. And I'm actually liking a female main character in YA. I find the opposite. I really don't get on with male protagonists in YA. Just there's nothing but to TikTok in that sprint. To be honest, if I weren't on camera, that would be what I had done. So you're all keeping me accountable. Nettle and Bone, yes, we love Nettle and Bone. It's a great time. How far through are you, Stephanie? Because I would like to hear your thoughts. Feel free to message me them. I'm just going to very quickly check this. Oh, Susanna is on Discord as well. How lovely. On Discord, we are discussing using your phone or your Kindle, and I find that sometimes I just don't charge my Kindle. I just never remember to actually plug it in. So we're in a rare time where it has charge. Enjoying it. Inspired to pick up by so far by you and Angela. Yes, it is very good. I would recommend. If you don't like it though, just don't tell me. Just don't tell me that. Dirty Heads horror novella. Ooh, not for me, but I'm very exciting. Vague and not that creepy. Oh, that's disappointing. I actually think for me, vague stuff is more scary. Depending on the definition of vague. But if it's a horror and or scary program where I see the creature, less scary. What was that YA horror that was a big thing that like turned out to be not a great author or something? There's someone inside your house. I think I had an arc of it. And the moment that anything was revealed, I was like, doesn't matter. I was the same with The Quiet Place. The moment I saw anything, I was like, it's not scary anymore. 18 pages the way through. Oh, well, you're in early days, but having a great time. Have you met Bone Dog yet? At 18 pages? Possibly. It's a great time. I have managed to retrieve the dog from downstairs. You won't be able to see her because she is on her bed just down here. But she was just sat in Katie's office screaming. So, did I read Wilder Girls? I know the cover. Just don't mind me using actual Google. Oh, no, I haven't read that. But it reminds me of, I have Justine's copy. House of Hollow. It was just a phase of lots of very floral face covers. But no, this was way back when. This was like 2017. There's someone inside your house or something. Just leave this up for the rest of it, really. Although she's been a bit of a pain today. And now she's just chewing on her legs. I should just move the camera onto her for the next print, really. But I worry she would expose herself. Not the neatest lass. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the first binding down again for another day and just focus on Circe and the future of another timeline for now, because I'm enjoying having a physical book. Finding stuff just made me stupid. Fair enough. There are a lot of them. Cat won't stop yowling for no reason. Luna is now under the desk. Are we ready? She's gonna cry. I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but she's doing a sad. She has not had enough attention today. By which I mean she has had hours and hours of attention, but it is never enough. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Cat toy, yes. We didn't get Luna a new toy in July because we had to buy expensive food for her in July, so she's getting one in August. No judgment. This is a blanket rule for my streams: is you are very welcome to either have liked a book that we're talking about not liking, or not like a book that we're talking about liking. We all have different opinions on things. It's allowed. See, Tomty, I feel is just such a chill cat. The only time I've seen him excited is like once, and he ran around your house. It's just the most laid back vibes of a cat. See, yes, we have different opinions. It's always the case, and that's okay. Valid. Everything I read in June was ebooks and audiobooks. Definitely craving a physical book by now. I go through phases. Audiobook is always a good thing for me because, as Angela has said in a previous, I can't remember what it was, in some conversation about something. I like it because it slows my brain down a little bit. And ebook I like because I can carry it around a bit easier. But sometimes you do just need to be able to feel how far through a book you are. I think if I had a Kindle that somehow swelled and then decreased in size as you got through the book, maybe that would work. Oh, bless. I would recommend looking up both Asha and Angela's cats, all of whom are very adorable. I'm such a like closeted cat person. Purely just the fact that my face would swell up and I would sneeze a lot if we had one. It's a little bit horrifying, but it would do the job. It would do what I needed to do, which is give me a physical sense of how far through a book I am. I'm picturing it as some sort of like biomechanical device in some sort of future sci-fi horror book. That kind of thing where the author will just throw it in as like a side detail in something, and then you're reading it and you're like, that is terrifying. Never bring that near me ever again. Do you think you can go to your bed? Or do you think you can cry? We're going with cry. Okay, fair enough. Look, it's an idea. Favorite series ever has a wizard's manual that does that as long as you need it to be in a given moment. See, maybe that can happen with some of these long books, and they can just shift to being one-page summaries, and I can get them off my TBR. If the Count of Monte Cristo could shift to being a fewer hours, that would be fantastic, because I need to finish that this month, and it's going very slowly. I think maybe that's the problem. I'm just in the middle of too many really long things at the moment, so nothing's getting finished. I say that as I am literally flitting between books of like nobody's business. It's fine. Right, we're settling. Good vibes only. Settle down. Yes? Excellent. What series is it that has the wizard's manual that does that, though? Because I will put you downstairs. Go to bed. She has gone. It is all good. See, yeah, novella month. I think it's a very sensible idea. I assume you've got a TBR somewhere that I can scan through and get a sense. I have a fair few actually. I have a Psalm for the Wild bit on my TBR. I have Binti, all 3 Binti books, and I think there is another one on here, but I can't remember now. Oh, Tamara Pierce, but that's not really novellas. They're just shorter books, which is good. Read the adaptation for children. Yeah, but then I feel like I haven't really read it. I know that sounds very rude, but I just I want to have read the book that is on my TBR, my physical TBR, which is just a bit chunky. Language is about Dan Dwayne in the middle grade, but kind of not in the older book way where they really straddle age ranges. Yes, I know that age range well, and it is very difficult to describe. I always think of it as like a book that me aged like 8 would have just devoured and had the best time and felt really smart about because I was a smarmy 8-year-old. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by dogs being dogs. We were talking about, did anyone come up with other special features for books? I did not yet. So just in case anyone wanted to throw one in the chat. Updating them to be more modern because it's in a timeline stuff in the 80s, early 90s, and continue over 20 years with kids about 5 years. Oh, it's a long time to be 5. No, not 5. No, yeah. My brain's not working very well, but that's exciting. I'm having that experience for Animorphs. I have absolutely no idea how old any of the characters are. And that sucks because they introduce themselves at the start of each book. I'm just like, it could have been a month since this started. It could have been 3 years. I have no idea. I have been doing this for 4 years now, but it's fine. I don't not read middle grade. It's not a thing that I intentionally avoid. It's just not something that I currently have a lot of on my TBR. And I think it also depends what you define as middle grade, because stuff like Frances Harding does crossover. Sometimes it's on either bookshelf, and I read a lot of that. I've loved Percy Jackson in the past. Companions Quartet I've talked about before. I just don't read huge amounts of it because it's not really what I'm drawn to at the moment. I'm very much in like an adult fantasy phase, or an adult sci-fi phase. So yeah, if Asher tells me you really need to read this, this, and this, I will gladly pick it up and I will have a great time with it. It's just not, I don't have a lot of it on my TBR at the moment, so I'm not reading a lot of it. There are more special editions coming with their own boxes that look good on shelves. Ooh, slipcases, yes. A sense that switch back and forth between. Ooh, yes. Oh, amazing, amazing. QR codes at certain points that link to Spotify soundtrack songs. Yes, please. Except that then I feel like I would just end up judging whoever created those playlists. I would judge the music a lot. I'm always here for some recommendations. You can throw them in the chat, throw them on Discord, wherever you like. I can't promise I will get to them. I have debated at the point where I have got a slightly less manic TBR and reread schedule, going back through my comments section from the last like year or so and pulling out some of the ones that people have recommended, because people do leave really, really wonderful recommendations, and then I just have such a packed schedule that I can't throw anything new in there. Like I haven't spontaneously read a book in about 4 months, probably. And it's going fine for me. Like I'm reading stuff that I enjoy and having a good time. It's just I can't enjoy the recommendations people throw in, which is, you know, it is what it is. I'm trying to think what the last one I would have randomly picked up was. And I genuinely don't know. But that's because I'm a to-do list person. So I like having a, this is what books you need to read this week. Like knowing now on Sunday that I have to finish these 3 things. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get on with that. That's fine. Oh, shall we do another sprint? Shall we? So we're going to do another half hour that takes us to 4:15, and I know, I'm going to though. That is actually on my list for September, but I might get to it in August because I haven't got a book scheduled for August. So, but we will discuss this. More sprint. Let's do it. We can do another half hour, and then probably another half hour after that, and then I might have to go and take the dog out because she is being a bit of a bingus. So let's do it. We're gonna go till 1:15. Ba-da-da-da. All right. Happy reading, writing, productivity doing, scrolling through TikToking, whatever you want to do. Happy. Hello, hello. Hi, welcome back. It is 1:15, right? Yes, it is. I felt like that went very quickly. How did we do? Oh, this has been the best Sunday morning ever. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Treat myself to creamer in my coffee and just got my cat drinking out of milk. That's fantastic. If I leave anything remotely food related at Luna's height, it is gone. It is not mine anymore. That is her food now. We have got very, very good at clearing off the tables of food. Hello. Hello, hello. I read, let me tell you what I read. Why not? I am 110 or so pages through The Future of Another Timeline, and it is as I remember, in a really good way. I actually think I've talked a lot about this recently, but I think there are a lot of books, two of which I'm currently reading, where things are fairly miserable for women, femme presenting people, however you want to word it. And I think there's a real knack to writing a book that acknowledges the really bad stuff and like maybe taking a really difficult theme, but also feels not too awful. Like The Silence of the Girls, I find I cannot, like, it's my best example. It's a retelling of Troy, but from the perspective of the women of Troy, and it was so miserable I couldn't deal with it. Whereas this, actually, I really am enjoying, because I am now 175 pages through Circe, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I'd forgotten how much I enjoy just like encountering more and more Greek myths as we go through. I think it's a fun framing device for a lot of Greek mythology, which is good. 37 more pages read. Clap, 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 clap. This book feels like if Stardew Valley was a book. I have never played Stardew Valley, confession. So I get the vibes. I get the vibes. Finish the final scene. Yay! Write the middle scenes. And I need to know how much space I have for shenanigans. There's one whole shenanigan. Oh my goodness. And another 5% of my Marlene is quick read. I'm hopping off here. Thanks for sprinting chats. Bye, Marlene. Lovely to see you or be in the same online space as you. Words do be hard. That was one of my favorite parts of Circe. Yeah, I think the balance is done so far. I'm about halfway through. The balance is really good in both books, actually. Whereas something like, what was it? I've talked about it all the time recently. The Book of Gothel, I just found so unrelentingly miserable. And I think it's about how other women are in these kinds of books. And I think that you can very much have women who suck in these books, and there are in this. Her sister's a bit annoying. That's such an understatement, but you know what I mean. But it can't be everyone. It just can't. It doesn't work for me. It just makes me feel like, well, why am I reading this? This is just unrelentingly depressing. I think actually Handmaid's Tale is another good example. There's flaws with it as a book, I think, but it has a decent balance of things are terrible, but I'm not just beating you over the head with that for an entire book. You know, that's how I feel. And I think it's the problem that a lot of it's Greek mythology from the perspective of this female character. We've never had her perspective before. Oh my goodness, let's hear everything from her perspective. And then it just ends up being like, oh, she was sad the whole time. I'm like, that doesn't add to my experience of the Greek myth. Like, I would almost rather this person stay as a side character that doesn't get a look in than you write me she had a terrible life and nothing was good ever. You know, maybe that's just me, and some people really love that, but it's never been my jam, I have to say. My jam is either a balance or just give me women having a nice time. Give me happy, cozy lady stories like Legends and Lattes. Just give me people starting a coffee shop and like the worst thing happening being that something goes vaguely wrong with it. You know, that's fine. My mum always said that when the first Mamma Mia film came out, again dating myself somewhat, that we went to see it, and she'd been reading so many of these like slightly miserable stories and like consuming a lot of like everyone's going to have something terrible happen to them. But she spent the whole of Mamma Mia, a film that was basically just designed to be somewhat mindless fun, being like, oh no, they're going to die, they're going to drive off the edge of a cliff, something terrible is going to happen, and left. And she was like, that was really jarring. I wasn't expecting to have a nice time. So there are negatives to it as well. 1,000 Ships, one great female centered, a whole bunch of lady stories. See, but is it like a fun, nice time, or is it's a lot of lady stories and here's all the different ways that bad things happen to them? Because I'm okay with it's a lot of lady stories, but if it is just terrible things happen to them, I don't I don't want it. I don't. Like whenever stuff gets into Briseis, I'm always like, oh no, it's going to be terrible, because like you can't spin that in an empowering way. I don't think, not without deeply changing large portions of the story. But yeah, sad, but also empowering in a sad way. Yeah, it's a tricky balance, and some people can do it, and I think Madeline Miller is succeeding in it, at least in my opinion. Maybe it's about where you are in life and what you're up to and so such, but The Silence of the Girls was just, even I don't remember what happened. I just have this overwhelming like grey cloud of it being a bit of a bummer. And there is a time and a place for these things, but I am not in that place, nor is it that time for me. I say that as I'm reading two very depressing books. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to like get excited for next week's reading so that it will motivate me to finish the stuff I need to finish this week. Because I am actually starting The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, so new Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I'll be excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm really, really hoping that it's going to be leaning more into the Mexican Gothic side of things. Not that I didn't love Velvet Was the Night and certain Dark Things, which is actually behind me because I need to do a reread of it. But nothing has hit me as hard as Mexican Gothic in quite some time, and I'm very excited for it. See, this is the thing. And if that's your jam, that's absolutely fine. If you want to read Pat Barker being very miserable about everything. But I'm not that girl. I'm not. Sorry, there's specks of dust in the air. I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh, I'll tell you what, I need to buy a new desk chair. I think that's what I'm learning doing these sprints. I need to reset up all of my office space. Because I love my little desk zone, but I have had this chair since right at the start of the pandemic, and I use it every single day, every day. And I just want to find a way of reupholstering it so that I'm slightly more comfortable. But I think we've just hit that point. We've lived here for a year now, just under a year. We've owned the house for a year, and I think after a year you can really get the sense of like, oh, this is what we set up poorly, and this is what needs rejigging slightly. So I do at some point want to just pull all the furniture in this room out and redo it, but I don't think that's going to happen while I'm. Certainly not going to happen in this holiday. I was hoping to paint downstairs, and it's just going to be way too warm. Way too warm. I want to make shaving foam art with the boy. Oh, have a lovely time. Shaving foam art is just peak excellence. I hope that you don't end up with too much mess to clear up though. But have a lovely time. Bye. We are going to do in 7 minutes or so, or maybe we'll just start when I want to start. We're going to do another half hour, and then we will close. Although you feel free to keep reading if you want to. I don't make the rules. But I don't know if you'll be able to see her if I move my chair. I'm going to fall off if I go that way. Let's see if we can do it this way. There she is, having a big sleep, despite the fact that she has a bed right there. She's just napping. What impeccable vibes. Impeccable. Sorry for this wiggly camera work. You're just like perched on top of my other laptop. So yeah. Other than discussing depressing Greek mythology retellings. Do you want to talk about depressing time travel? I really, really love how this book, Future of Another Timeline, tackles time travel. I think it's really fascinating. And there's a lot of points where just the rules of time travel that I feel like bog down other books. They just kind of go like vaguely. So it's like you shouldn't meet your past self, but like we don't really know what happens. You might get eaten by demons, but probably not, and it's fine. Of the walking ghost. I don't know if I should know what you mean. I'm really sorry. Now I'm worried there's just a ghost in the background of my videos. That's terrifying. Cool. I'm going to suggest that we kick off kind of like 35 minutes of sprinting. That's what I'm going to suggest to you right now, because I will just go on about how I think that some books are too depressing for a long time. So let's close it out. We're going to do half an hour, 35 minutes. We're going to go to the next. hour. We're going to go to 5 if you're in the UK. Sprinting until... Oh, I'm sorry, Asher, I've left your comment up. Everyone's just going to know you're going to do shaving foam ghosts. Yes, you can. I believe in you. I believe in you. Get close enough that you can just finish it today. Right, let's do it. Plonk this up. We're not going to midnight, we're going to the next hour. You know what it means. And I'm going to actually keep going with Circe, so I shall see you with a bit more thoughts on this in half an hour or so. Hello again. We are back for the last time today, I think. Just turning off my fan. How did we do? How did we go? We doing all right? I am so close to the end of Circe. I don't know if you can. Oh, the camera's there. I have just this much left to go. I'm on page 298, which is not too bad for a 3-hour session. I am very much enjoying it. It is very much reinforcing my I really don't want kids feeling, which is a good thing. I like to have that reinforced. So that was good. 40 pages into Midnight Void, and forgot how villainous the main character is. I love a villainous main character. Are they villainous in a you are very, very evil way, villainous in an you are very, very hot way, or a combination of the two? I would like to know. More chapters left for me, so it's great getting you to relax and read this morning. Oh, I'm very glad. I'm very pleased. That brings me joy. Brings me great joy. And you have to ping me over some thoughts after this. 55 pages into Knuckle and Bone. This is making me want to go and grab my copy, so I can be like, where's 55 pages? Although the US edition is much nicer than the UK edition, just in terms of comparison between the two. Luna has just been gross. I'm quite glad she's been covered up. But yes, I'm really enjoying Circe. I think it's just a fantastic book. I'd forgotten how good Madeline Miller's writing is. Like, I loved Song of Achilles. I think I might like this more just for the... It feels like it's doing a different thing. And I really like that kind of pulling in loads of different myths and playing around with the timeline. I'd love to see someone... I'm sure someone's done it, like a big old timeline of when things occur. Very interesting, very interesting. Combination of the two for sure. Fabulous. We love a hot villain. Nikki was washing up. How fantastic. I am a sucker for leaving the baking washing up for hours and hours and hours afterwards. So I'm very pleased. What were you baking? I would love to know. Yes, it is lovely. This is a reread, I should have said. And I'm having a very good time with it. And I will be filming an overbooked video for it next week. This week. Yes, probably tomorrow, to be honest, because I think I'm going to do an overbooked filming day tomorrow. Oh, how exciting. Because I'm on holiday, huzzah and hooray. And by on holiday, I mean at home, but not on my work emails. So I'll be sat here, which is where I sit for work, but I will be editing on a different laptop, which, you know, we have a bit of difference. I only did it so I can make icing valid. Mini salted caramel cakes and then chocolate chip cookies. Darn. We have no baked goods in the house. I'm just realizing now. And I probably shouldn't have asked that question without confirming if we had baked goods in the house. Disappointing. But that does sound delicious. Maybe I'll persuade Katie if we can walk past a shop with the dog now. Perhaps. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a move because the Goyle does require a walk and I'm obligated to walk her. Hello, yes. Yes, hello. But I hope those who have more of a Sunday to go, we've got a good few hours left here, but maybe you have more where you are. For instance, somebody who wants to get up and bake something, go for it, Angela, do it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday. I hope everyone has a really nice week. We shall do this again, I'm sure, at some point. Maybe I'll do some evening sprints so we can hit more of the different time zones. I haven't quite decided. I don't really know because with sprints, I just kind of get the urge or indeed go, I really need to do some reading. And this is a great way of getting me to do it. You're very welcome. Chatting and reading, always nice. Maybe we'll do some longer ones at some point. Do it. Do the baking thing. Right. Nope. There we go. I'm going to head because the Bingus requires a walk. So I shall see you all in the near future. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. Farewell.